Hello and welcome. In this video, we will take you on a tour of subtitle edits annotation feature, including timestamping, labeling, and formatting. Before we begin the training, let me provide you with a brief introduction to what is data annotation. Data annotation is the process of labeling and annotating data with relevant information to provide context and meaning. High quality annotations enable machine learning models to understand the data, make accurate predictions, and improve overall performance. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to perform annotation from scratch using the subtitle edit tool. To begin, first install the subtitle edit tool and then open it. To load the audio in the tool, click on the black area where it says click to add waveform. To load the audio, a window will appear after clicking on click to add waveform. By default, it is set to video files. Click on the drop down menu, change it to audio files, then select the audio file you want to work on and click open. So now that the audio is loaded and the waveform is generated, you will see the waveform displayed in green color. So now let's begin how to create segments. But first, let's take a look at what guidelines says about the segments. The guideline is divided into two phases for segmentation. Let's look at the phase one, that is segment the audio. And the point is ensure that the timestamps of start and end of the audio segments are precise. And the second point is segment length. Ensure each audio segment is at most 30 seconds long. For audio segments exceeding 30 seconds, insert a new timestamp at a logical line break. Now I'm going to show you how to create segments. To create segment, click on the black area where you see the waveform, then click and drag to the select desired portion of the waveform. After selecting the desired portion of the waveform, it will turn gray with a gridded background. Then press enter. This will create a segment and it will turn red. Make sure your first segment starts at 0 hour, 0 minute, 0 second and 001 millisecond. We are going to capture the full audio length including silences in this project. Now let's create multiple segments and start the annotation process. We will apply all language rules whenever necessary. You can always use segments boundary to increase its length. I will suggest you to create 5 to 10-second segments so that it will be more easier for you to listen and memorize the dialogues and then start the annotation process. So I have created 5 segments. Let's start with the annotation process. Before that, you can see the created segment in the text area where you'll find the columns like hash, start time, end time, duration, and text. Start time means the starting point of that particular segment. End time means the ending point of that particular segment. Duration means the total length of the particular segment. And in text, the column where you can start writing the corresponding content for that particular segment. Now I'm going to listen to the segment and start the annotation process. According to the guidelines, whatever you hear in the audio must be written exactly as it is. So now I'm going to annotate the first segment here where the male one says, the speaker is male one and he says, आप क्या बात कर रहे हो, क्या political. Like this, I have annotated 4 segments and you can see the dialogues over here. As you can see, I have taken each and every speaker in the new segment. I have selected that portion, created the segment, adjust the segment boundaries by dragging left or right, and then I have I'm started to annotate that thing. That male underscore 3 says as I mentioned earlier, we are not going to use digits in any annotation text. The same applies to currency symbols, abbreviations, and dates. Let's take an example. Hmm. Let's take this same example where speaker is saying मैंने ये मोबाइल फोन 5,000 रुपए में खरीदा है. So we have to annotate the full text in Hindi only because speaker is speaking in Hindi. If speaker is speaking in English like मैंने ये मोबाइल फोन 5,000 rupees में खरीदा है. So we are going to write like this. We are not going to use any shortcuts or any abbreviations for rupees like the rupee symbol or RS written in English like this. This RS and then the figure. So if speaker is speaking in Hindi and the dialogue is मैंने ये मोबाइल फोन 5,000 रुपए में खरीदा है. So we have to write like मैंने ये मोबाइल फोन 5,000 रुपए में खरीदा है. So if speaker is speaking in Hindi, we have to write it in Hindi. If speaker is speaking in English, we have to write that in English only. So now let's take an example of birth date. If the speaker is speaking, let's say main underscore 02 मेरी जन्म तिथि 1 जनवरी 2000 है. So speaker is speaking in Hindi. That's why we have to write this like this. 1 January 2000. We have to write that in words, not in digits. So it is birth date. We are not going to use any dash or slash here, or we are not going to use any digits over here. And the next example is like speaker is saying Mary birth date Mary birth date 1st January 2000. This is the example how we are going to annotate the dates the and currency. Now let's take the example for colloquial shortcuts. Sometimes two words that frequently occur together are shortened in a single word like this. Ja raha in Hindi is sometimes pronounced as jara. Jato ahe in Marathi is sometimes pronounced as jatoy. We want the pronunciation to be correctly reflected in the transcript. If the speaker pronounces jato ahe as jatoy or ja raha hu as ja ra, then the transcript should contain the text jatoy or ja ra. I think you got the example. If the speaker is saying Shuddha Hindi ja raha hu, then we have to write ja raha hu. If the speaker is saying ja raha hu, so we have to write ja ra hu. Now let's forward to the next point, that is handling extended silences, music or noises. Mark any extended silence, music or significant noise that observes the audio with an empty line containing three dots and put the associated timestamp. So let's take the example for this. Like this is our waveform, and you have created the segment like this where you have selected silence first and the dialogue in the next part. So how we are going to show the silence or that long pause? So let's suppose, for example, here is male who is speaking. So for the silences or long pauses, guideline says put three dots to show silences. So I'm going to put three dots and then the dialogue. Let's listen to this.
आज यह
So the dialogue says Aaj yeh. Okay. So this is how we are going to show the silence. Then the next situation here is like if you have created the segment like this, where you have taken dialogue first and then silence, then that should go like this. Mail underscore 02. Let's listen to the dialogue first.
तेल क्षेत्र विधेयक के
He's saying तेल के क्षेत्र विधेयक के and he's taking long pause after his dialogue. So for that pause, we are going to use three dots. So this is how we are going to show the silences. Let's take another example. Like you have created the segment like this, and speaker is speaking continuously over here. You can see the silences. For segments like this you have created, you don't have to show the silences in this particular situation. Just go and listen to the segment and start typing it.
विचार सदन में रखूंगा.
So here male underscore 2 is saying विचार सदन में रखूंगा. Let's
विचार सदन में रखूंगा. हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने
हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने
इस तेल क्षेत्र में
इस तेल क्षेत्र में. So this is the example. When you have created the segment using the dialogue and the silences, you don't have to show the silence in continuous part. Now here comes the tricky part in the next point, and that is code mixing transcript. Let's look at what code mixing transcript says. So the code mixing transcript says the transcription of code mixed words phrases should be in the language of origin if it is within 30% of total data. For example, if we are collecting Hindi ASR data, then the word computer in speech should be transcribed as computer, or if the English word in the audio segment exceed 30% of total audio segment, we transcribe it like computer in Devanagari. This computer in Devanagari. So let's take an example. Uh, let's suppose in your particular segment there are 10 words which includes uh, 3 English words and rest are the Hindi words. Let me create the segment over here first, and the dialogue is male underscore 03. I'm taking this as an example only. This part is not available or uh, audible in the audio. This is example where male 3 or the speaker is saying like मैं उस कंपनी में जॉब करता हूँ. This is the sentence. Let's count the words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here in this sentence, there are 7 words. And if you are going to see the rule from the guideline, there should only be two words present in English. If the English word counts exceeds 3 or 4, then we have to type that particular English words in Devanagari. So here in this example, 7 out of 2 is English words. Then we have to type it like this: company and job in English words. If that exceeds to English words exceed to 4 or 5 words in total, then we have to write company in Devanagari like this: company में job करता हूँ. So I think you are clear with this code mixing transcript. Now let's forward to the next point, and that is background noises. Here are some situations where we are going to use the tags uh, from the guidelines, and there are 7 tags that we are going to use. That tags are non-speech verbalization, animal, birds, vehicles, machines, noise, unclear, overlap, and profanity. So just let me clear you one thing. We are going to use these audio tags where in some of these situations, like in the background, a child is talking or child is laughing, or there is some screening going in background, and just because of that particular situation you are not able to hear the speaker's particular word or phrase, then and then only we are going to use the audio tags. Otherwise, if you are able to hear what the speaker is saying, annotate that thing 100%. Like if we are going to take the example for this, when we are going to use tags. So let's suppose, let's take this example. uh, the speaker is saying, विचार सदन में रखूंगा हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने इस तेल क्षेत्र में. So let's suppose the real situation here is, while speaking this particular dialogue, uh, that particular speaker had some problem in speaking and he starts clearing his throat. And just because of this situation, if we don't hear the word desh ke, let's suppose desh ke, then if you are not hearing that particular word just because of his clearing his throat, just put the non-speech verbalization tag over there, because the situation is throat clearing. And in this particular example, we are not hearing those two words desh ke, so we are going to use non-speech verbalization tag like this. In the same situation, if the speaker is speaking continuously and in the background there are animal noises, meow, breaking, squeaking, or hiss, and just because of that situation, if you are not able to hear the particular word or full sentence, just use animal or birds tag. So you can see the situations over here and the tags. If the background, in background there is some TV noise or horn, someone is honking continuously, or someone's phone is vibrating, or someone is typing on their phone, and that sound is clicking sound is present in the audio. And just because of this situation, if you are not able to hear any particular word or phrase or sentence, just in this situation we are going to use audio tags. Otherwise, if you are able to hear the dialogue, then uh, annotate as it is. Now let's move forward. When we are going to use noise tag, just we are going to take some example, like here you have created segment like this where someone is speaking, for example, mail underscore 02, and their dialogue, something, he's speaking something. And in this particular silence, you are uh, you're able to hear the background noise only. Then in this situation, you don't have to write anything. You just have to show the silence or music by putting three dots. In this situation, if you have created the segment like this, but the situation like this where you have created the separate segment for dialogue and separate segment to show the uh, noise or background music, then if in this particular segment you are hearing any background noises like some song is playing over there or some band is playing over there, just put noise tag. Like I said earlier, if you don't hear anything and the background music is going on, just use noise tag. Then let's forward to the next tag, that is unclear. This particular tag, we will use this tag in two situations, like uh, if any of these situation, because of any of these situations you are not able to relocate what that exact word is speaker is saying, then use unclear dialogue, unclear audio tag. I'm so sorry. Let's suppose take I'm taking the same example here. देश के प्रधानमंत्री माननीय नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी ने इस तेल क्षेत्र में, so if you are not able to hear देश के that two words, just because they are uh, very low in volume or there are some noises in the background and you have tried to listen to that particular word twice thrice, then don't waste your time on listening to that particular word repeatedly. Just use unclear tag like this. And the second situation where we are going to use the unclear tag is when speaker is speaking some personal information like PI data, like speaker is saying मेरा नाम XYZ है और मैं बॉम्बे में रहता हूँ, मेरा अकाउंट नंबर है 819347 और मेरा मोबाइल नंबर है 12345678 और मेरा OTP है XYZ. So here in this situation, we are not going to annotate any personal information in the text area. Just use unclear tag for the digits he is speaking. Like uh, bank account number is a personal unique identification number, or your OTP is unique, or your PAN card is unique. So whenever you listen the PI data in the audio, don't annotate that particular text. Just use unclear tag. Okay, I think we are good to go when we are going to use unclear tags. Then overlap. So, like the overlap, if the two speakers are speaking at the same moment, and just because of that overlap, you're not able to listen that particular word or phrase, use overlap. So, I guess that situation occurs in this first part over here. So here, आप क्या बात करते हो क्या political? After this dialogue of the male one, there is overlap between male one and male two. So here I'm going to use overlap like this. We will write all audio tags in double square bracket, right? Please take care of this. Then the profanity, like the profanity, I think you all know what is profanity. If the speaker is saying any bad words or disrespectful words for someone or to the next speaker who is talking with, don't annotate that bad words or that gali galoj area. Just use profanity tag. and move further. Okay. Then the last point for this annotation part is handling disfluencies. If there is an overlap between two speakers, usually with the agreeing words or disfluencies such as ha ha, acha acha, okay okay, etc., then put those words of secondary speaker's word inside square bracket. So when we are going to use this single square bracket in this situation, like for example, in this particular example, speaker one is saying जैसे कि बहुत अधिक से अधिक धूप पड़ रही हो, and suddenly speakers two start saying हाँ हाँ हाँ, then again speaker one is started speaking सूखा पड़ रहा हो, then speaker two is speaking अच्छा अच्छा. So in this situation you don't have to create any extra segment for the second speaker. You can uh, create just like this. 1 second, I'm going to show you. If this is your segment, and in the half of the part of this segment is speaker one, and the second part of the segment is speaker two, then you don't have to create separate segment for speaker one and speaker two. So let's take example. If I am speaking to my friend, his name is Vishal, and I am speaking, hi Vishal, क्या पुणे में बारिश हो रही है? क्या पुणे में बारिश हो रही है? And before finishing my dialogue, Vishal started agreeing with my sentence. हाँ हाँ हो रही है. So we are going to use disfluencies like this. You don't have to create any separate segment for situation like this. If the speaker is saying हेलो विशाल, क्या पुणे में बारिश हो रही है? And then suddenly, before ending the speaker one's dialogue, speaker two, who is Vishal, started saying हाँ हाँ हो रही है. So in this situation we are going to write Vishal's dialogue or the next speaker two's dialogue in single square bracket like this. So this is it. This is how we are going to annotate the full file using the subtitle edit tool. Thank you. Have a nice day. So now let's suppose you have finished this audio file after listening to each and every segment, and then annotating process is finished. How we are going to save this file? So to save this file, just go to the file menu and click on save as option. The window appears for saving the file. So by default, when you are going to save this file, uh, by default this SRT file will create in the name of original audio file name. So here my original audio is Hindi demo 1. So here the Hindi demo 1 automatically appears. We don't have to rename the same file. Just select your directory where you want to save this particular file. I'm going to select the desktop, and my save as type is SUBRIP, that is subrip, and just press save. So your file is now saved. If you can go to the desktop, you can see that Hindi demo one file over here. You can see that. If you double click it, it will directly take you to the subtitle edit tool, just like this. And here is your saved SRT file. So after finishing this annotation process, you just have to deliver this SRT file via mail. So this is how we are going to finish the annotation process using subtitle edit tool, and how we are going to save this file, and how we are going to annotate, how we are going to deliver the SRT files. Thank you so much.